Hello everybody, my name is Priya and I am an Ishaya monk, and today I would like to just share with you guys a little bit on my own experience and my own little journey around the topic of peace. As far as I could remember actually, and maybe you guys can relate to it as well, that in a very young age that I always had like a feeling that I'm here to do something important, that the sense of purpose was haunting me all my life. And I don't know how I come to this conclusion, but at some point I sort of decided for myself that, I don't know exactly what my purpose is, but I'm going to set my purpose in that moment as bringing peace in the world. Somehow I just made that decision in my head. And I remember I was working very, very hard on it. Like I was actually quite obsessed about fulfilling that purpose. And I remember trying to make my world peaceful by stopping people from fighting, stopping my friends from arguing, trying to make peace with everybody and between everybody. And I remember feeling like that's such a hard work because you can't really control what's happening on the outside. And the more I try to control it, the more unpeaceful things that I see on the outside. And I got into this little like peace warrior mode, which is not exactly peaceful because I was actually very judgmental and I had a lot of judgments with what I'm seeing. I remember when the idea of meditation or the idea of a spiritual path was introduced to me, I never really connected dots with my mission or my purpose to bring peace in the world to a meditation practice. Like I thought there were two separate different things. And I'm remembering at that moment, I really resisted the idea of having a meditation practice because I was a teenager then, and meditation in my head was a very uncool thing to do. It's for people who have nothing to do or for people who are just getting old and retired and need something else in their life. At least that was my previous concept. And I remembering really resisting the idea and the invitation to start practice meditation. However, one way or the other, I got put into a meditation course, or specifically the Bright Path Ishayas Ascension course. And I remember walking into the room absolutely resisting the whole idea. And yeah, I remember entering the room and suddenly I was spellbound because I felt like I literally physically walked into a wall of peace. I was in shock actually, because I know I would have considered myself at that point of somebody who is a big advocate on peace and the importance of peace. And I'd argue with people about it. And my friends thought I was crazy, that I wouldn't stop talking about it. And yet, I think that was the first moment and a super humbling moment that I realized that, I've been trying very hard conveying the concept and the importance of peace, but I actually never ever really experienced it myself until that very moment. And I remember that was probably the first moment in my life when I actually tasted such a profound peace that wasn't evoked by anything else other than I recognize the presence of peace that I was experiencing in that moment was coming from the teachers at the moment in the room. It was emanating from them. And it wasn't coming from them telling me what to do or convincing me of the importance of it. But it was just them being in such a state of presence and such a state of inner contentment and non-judgmental state of peace that it impacted me as an outsider. And it was that moment when I realized that the only really way to bring peace in the world is for me to be able to rest in that state of peace myself, in order for me to recognize that state of presence myself. It has to start from me first. It has to start from an inner experience first. And it is only by enlivening that presence within ourselves that that presence naturally emanates and naturally impacted those around us, even before we begin to talk about it or to share about it or to try to convince people of it. There's none of that that's needed. And in fact, the only way that we could ever do, should peace be your desire, or should peace be your recognized purpose or mission, that it has to start from you first. And you can try to find maybe a method or modality that brings an actual experience of peace to you. Even just take a moment every day to just stop. Take a moment every day to just stop and let the dust settle and enjoy that very moment of inner peace, that taste of inner peace. And even just by doing that micro habit, every day, that little bit of dedication and time and attention will start to have a rippling effect in yourself and also for those around you. So if anything, that would be my invitation today. It doesn't have to be a profound act of impact and peace that you're doing, but just to develop that little micro habit every day, a little bit at a time. Before you know it, it's going to start have a great impact. So that's me. Ciao. I don't know how to close this video, so there you go.